Welcome to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Badass Direct Sales Mastery is a podcast for rock star direct sales moms who are determined to make their business kick ass. Jennie will share her knowledge of effective sales and recruiting techniques, tips to get what you want from your business, and will interview direct sales professionals and leaders from various companies. The interviews will give insight to how these rock stars got to where they are and where they plan to grow in the future. And now, the direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger.
Welcome back to another episode of Badass Direct Sales Mastery. I'm your host, Jennie Bellinger, your direct sales dom, helping you whip your business into shape. Today, I have a guest with me that I actually met online, which you will find to be very important as I talk with Rebecca today, because she is an expert in social selling. So Rebecca Cramer is an experienced digital marketing professional and a social selling master who specializes in coaching business owners to leverage their company's own unique story in order to increase their social selling metrics and blow away their audience with a masterful use of digital marketing tools through implementing a strategy customized to their needs and goals. Welcome to the show, Rebecca.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. So we got to start the conversation by letting everybody know we met online. We met through Facebook because we somehow found each other's stuff. I liked what you were saying. You liked what I was saying and said, we got to get you on the podcast. Have to get you on the show. So guys, social selling works.
I mean, there's so much opportunity for us to actually connect with people that could actually impact our business online, especially, over the last year and a half. Like the world, I feel like, has become so much smaller. And just being able to have that opportunity to connect with other people who we wouldn't have met in real life, probably,
It would have taken a lot more effort for us to have met in real life, given that we live in two different countries. You're based out of Canada. Yeah, absolutely. I think the world definitely has gotten smaller. Since COVID started, I think I've had meetings with people in, oh my gosh, probably 15 or 20 different countries in the last 20 months. For various reasons, some of them for business, some of them are just connection conversations. Some of them have been podcast interviews. The world has definitely gotten smaller because I was able to talk to all these people from my desk chair. I didn't even have to leave my house.
Exactly. And I mean, I think the major benefit to social media is that you can get to know my personality. If I'm someone that's putting myself on social media, talking to my audience on social media, you can actually get to know my personality and who I am before we even have conversations.
Yeah, exactly. And so what got you into the world of digital marketing and social selling? How did you end up where you are right now? What's your story, Rebecca?
Oh, all the way back in the days. I came from the olden days of paper and fax machines. So I actually started at Yellow Pages long time ago. So I've been working with small, medium businesses for like 18 years, maybe. Oh,
wow. Wow.
Long time. And so working at Yellow Pages, as the social media digital things started to happen, I felt like they were just really, they were a little behind. Mm-hmm. And I understand that, to turn a big boat, there's it takes way more to adjust and pivot. And I felt like I could do this. I could do this social media thing. I could do this marketing thing on my own. This, I'm sure it's easy. Easy. Well, 6 years later, it hasn't been easy, but I'm still here and I'm still having fun and helping my clients grow their businesses. Over the last year and a half since COVID, I noticed that there was there was this need for people to learn about marketing and how to grow their business. And I started going live last year, probably around this time. And it's crazy the difference that I've seen in going live and being visible on social media. People know me before they connect with me, which makes them decide to do business with me before they even get to talk to me.
Yeah. That's really helpful. And so what are some of the things you've learned now that you've been doing, not just digital marketing, but also the social selling piece, because you do have an additional business that you have built in this time. Tell us how you've used social selling to build this other side business.
Absolutely. So here's what happened. So I decided I would do this coaching thing, and I've always coached my clients. And so over the last year, I decided to start charging and doing, group sessions and that sort of thing, providing value. And there seemed to be people of different industries, and network marketing in particular was one of the industries that people seemed to be attracted to following my social media, the content. And so I decided that I would, because I wasn't a network marketer at that time. And so I decided that I would try to find the best company that I could learn from. Because my goal at that time, and this was April, my goal at that time was to learn, because I knew how to use social selling to grow my business. But I knew that there was some things that I didn't know about social selling. I knew that, you can read something, but until you actually do it, I felt like I needed that way to learn. So I was already using products from network marketing, like a lot of us do, amazing quality products. And I just found that there wasn't the products that I was using, there wasn't the support necessarily that I needed to grow and learn. Because for me at that time, that it wasn't about me, making extra money every month. It was just about me learning. And so I found the right company. I represent a company that sells hair care, skincare, and wellness products. Company is Monate. If you've heard of it, it's fabulous, anti-aging, plant-based, something that I could really get behind, and something that I'm able to start conversations about that anyways. I'm sure right. People talk to me about these things anyways. And so what I realized when I joined this organization is that there were people that wanted to buy from me. I just didn't have the right product. There were people that were learning from me that were excited to learn from me, and they wanted to buy. They just didn't want to buy what I had to sell. And so adding another product as well as service, because people can join my team and be coached by me that way as well. It totally expanded my audience. In fact, I've been able to get agency client, like my marketing agency clients, because initially, we had conversations about shampoo.
Yeah.
It actually has been more than just a side gig. It's been an amazing learning opportunity. And because of that, I was able to, in my second month, I actually got top 5 in Canada for building my team, which was pretty cool. And I'm still growing. I'm building my team. I think I'm around 200, a team of 200. Started in April, and I'm just doing what it takes to be visible and in front of my audience and talking to them as if they're individuals, so that we can connect with each other. And it's just a value exchange, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as I talk with my own clients about this kind of stuff, because I do not claim to be a social media expert, but what I am is an expert in human psychology, the way people think, the way people talk, the way people communicate. And, really, if you're using social media as just another communication tool, connection tool, a way to do that. And don't focus on the business, focus on the person, because people buy from people, right? Like you said, there were people who wanted to buy from you. They just hadn't found the right product until you had the conversation. And all of a sudden they were like, oh yeah, totally. Let me purchase from you, or let me join your team. Or, it just was they wanted to buy from you. It's not that they necessarily were attached to shampoo or that company, right? It really was Rebecca that they purchased from. And that's super cool. So knowing this, and now that you've had the opportunity to build not only your own digital marketing agency, but also this network marketing business through social selling, what are some of the basics that you've really learned in social selling that you can share with my listener?
Well, I mean, I think so. There's a structure of points that you need to hit in order to use social selling to grow your business. But the most important thing is, I think, providing value. That's massive. The more value that you can provide, the more people are going to see you as an expert. They're going to get, we all want to learn. We want to learn, right? And so if you're providing value and teaching people, they're going to be interested in getting more and potentially, hiring you or joining your team or whatever the case might be. But when you're thinking about social selling, so some important components, you have to make sure that you are providing value, but first you have to get their attention. And so if that hook, that call to action, that reason, why should I pay attention to you? Why should I listen to you? You've got to spell that out to me like I'm 5 years old before I even care about listening to you. And then I'm only going to pay attention if it serves me. So if there's entertainment value, or if you're providing some kind of learning, some kind of education, and then you need to always give me a way that I can purchase. So that call to action, that it doesn't, when I say purchase, I should say transact or convert, because that could be an email newsletter subscription. That could be a like, that could be a follow, that could be a share. Regardless of what it is, it's conversion. So you're making sure that you have the right components so that people can understand what problem you solve, understand why they want to do business with you, and then take the actions needed to actually make it happen. If we're not doing all those three things, it's broken. It's less likely to keep moving along to a sale.
Right. And can I point out right now to the listener, notice how Rebecca did not say post 17 pictures of the 17 different products that you have that are like your top selling right now. She didn't talk about product at all. At all. Nothing. Zero, zip, zilch on product at all. It was all about connecting, setting yourself, positioning yourself as the expert and providing value, edutainment, right? Education and entertainment, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You need to I need to understand why I should pay attention to you. Ideally, there's some content that's authentic. Yeah, me too. That content that absolutely, I totally get it. That content, that's the content that will make people do business with you, because anytime that you can connect and get someone to relate to, my audience asks me how I'm feeling after I'm sick for a week, because they know, and that's not related to my business at all, but it allows for that human connection, like you were saying earlier, with each other, with the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be something that is really a connection, and they should feel that they know you. It's very similar to, back in the radio days when people would follow a particular radio host and the audience really felt like they knew the radio host. And so when they would call in, it was, first time caller, long time listener was like the big thing. It should there should be a similar thing on Facebook, like longtime follower, first time reaching out to talk to you, whatever it may be, first time messenger. I don't know, coming up with that. But so, we've been talking about social selling, and I have an idea of what that is. And I know there are companies that have something that maybe is specifically called a social seller. I know there's 2 or 3 companies that I'm aware of that specifically have a type of ambassador, consultant, representative that is specifically called a social seller. So share with everybody what is social selling so that they have an idea of what this really means.
Yeah. So social selling, it just means that you're using social media as a tool to connect with your audience. Like really, that's all it is. And I mean, it's hard to think that the me on social media, like, how do I think that in my brain? If you think about when you go to a wedding, or before in like the olden days when we could go to weddings with big groups,
right.
You walk up to the bar, you're getting a drink, a tea, a coffee, whatever, and somebody else walks up. Like, what does that conversation look like? You guys are hanging out, the bartender's busy, like it's just the 2 of you. Are you going to stand there? And what if that person says hello? Like, are you just going to ignore them? They commented on your post. Are you not going to respond? If you want to do business with people, you have to be interested with them. You have to be interested in them. And there has to be that human to human connection, or it will be way less likely to happen, because then they'll have to fall in love with the product or service label. And how many other people are selling the same labeled product or service as you? Probably lots. But how many people are as individual as you are? Nobody in the world.
No, nobody can do it like you. Absolutely. And I've said it before, and I will say it again. People don't buy from companies. We don't even intentionally go, yes, I'm going to go buy from Target because I love Target. We go buy from Target because it's convenient. It's got a price tag that fits our budget. We know the store, it's comfortable. So we know where everything is or whatever. But if we had the opportunity to purchase from someone we know for something, we're much more likely to go in that direction. So almost all of my other purchases, like the guy who fixes my car is someone who I met out networking back in the day. And now I won't take my car anywhere else because Carlos and his son, Mike, are my guys, right? Yeah. Like, they take care of my car. That's just end of story. No one else touches my vehicle but Carlos and Mike, because it's about the service they provide. It's about who they are, how much they love on me when I show up. They're not your typical mechanic, right? So, the same can be said, because could I take my vehicle anywhere for an oil change? Yes. Are there places closer to my house that I could take it? Yes. Am I going to? Hell no.
Right. Because you have that connection. And so I think that's the other really cool thing about going live, for example, is that it's authentic.
Yeah.
I feel like I know you because I can see that you're sick, or I can see that your kid interrupted you, or
or your cat sitting on the back of your chair.
Exactly. But I can also tell that you're an expert because I can see that you know what you're talking about. Or maybe we're even in Clubhouse, and I can interact with you and ask you questions. And oh my gosh, I believe that you know your shit, because I can hear on Clubhouse that you can answer the questions that I have.
Yes. No, that makes perfect sense. I love that. So with going through and doing this, how, for someone who, let's say up till the moment that they've been listening to this episode, they've been doing the product push, what's the first step you would recommend for them to take to get away from the product push and start doing actual social, well, not even social selling, but this is really social marketing rather than social selling? Because the sales is just that last thing that happens that converts it from marketing to dollars, right?
Right.
So what's the first step they can take to move from that posting product, join my team, product, join my team, product, like that? How can they go from that to what you're talking about?
Why did you join the team that you joined, the business that you joined in the first place? Like, why? Tell me your story. Because, all this time you've been explaining to me the products that I need to buy, but I want to understand from you, what made you decide to buy? And if it's because of the products, that's great. But I want to also know the rest of you. Like, I want to understand why that product fits into your life. Maybe that means that you're using it instead of telling me how amazing it is. Maybe you're talking about something else that you're an expert at, or maybe you're an expert at something related to your product and you're going to talk about something not related to the product at all. Maybe you're going to just be using the product at the same time that you're talking to me about something else. Being able to say why, explain why you made the decision that you made, and at the same time being authentic about everything else in your life, it allows people that connection. So the product posts, I mean, sometimes they're great, but there's different ways that you can do them in great ways.
Yes, exactly. And unfortunately, what tends to happen is, hey, come buy this thing right now. It's on sale, right? So then now you're only ever posting things when they're on sale. So now people aren't necessarily going to want to pay full price, right, the rest of the year, right? So because they purchased on sale, unless they've totally fallen in love with that product at one time, right? So going through, I love that idea of sharing your why, what got you to purchase. And let me tell you guys, that can be a multiple video thing, because you can break it down. Here's my story of how I got invited. Here's my story of why I got started. I mean, I could very easily break down my story of why I got involved in direct sales in 2010 and how I got involved in direct. In fact, I did. It's my first 3 episodes of this podcast. If you go all the way back to episodes 1, 2, and 3, that's my story. I told my story in a 3-part series, so people would know who I am and where I was coming from and why I do what I do. It's all back in there. And you can use that. You can use that as a great example. Like, go listen to episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then create your own live.
Because honestly, if there for anyone who's listening, go back to those 3 episodes. If those are examples of exactly just that. And it could be 3 episodes. It could be every day. It could be every week that you're explaining your why and how you got here. It doesn't my day today is going to be different than tomorrow. And I can explain my why related to how I'm feeling today and what it's doing to impact my business, my day today. I still have the same why. I still joined for the same reason. But, also there's things that I learn doing this network marketing that I can share as value. So I know that network marketing companies, for the most part, there is lots of training. There is lots of personal development. Talk about the benefits. Talk about in my book club right now, it starts my day. I don't know what I would do without this book club, because it just really sets the tone. And I mean, the reason that you're in the book club is because of the network marketing. Like, there's so many different ways for you to share the benefits, and it doesn't have to be, here's my products, buy from me. Right. Exactly. And frankly, so many people, I mean, just watch, if you just watch enough TV, you still get tons of ads. You turn on YouTube, tons of ads. Why would you want to continue putting more ads on your own feed when really it's honestly 9 times out of 10 people aren't buying the product because of the product. They're buying the product because of you, and you've figured out how this is going to be beneficial for them. So there's just a whole thing behind that. So Rebecca, you are a wealth of knowledge, and I wish I could sit here and continue to talk to you forever. So we're going to have you come back, and we're going to dig deeper, go further on this so that
my audience can really begin to pull value from this. So between now and whenever you and I talk again next, I know my audience is going to want to connect with you. Where would you like them to connect with you?
So Instagram, my Instagram handle is Cramer Says. If anyone has any questions or needs help with social selling, it's important, right? I would say maybe I'm biased. That's okay. I don't care if I'm biased.
Yeah.
Social selling is really the most important when it comes to all digital marketing. You need to connect with your audience or it's a transaction. So
yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm going to put Rebecca's Instagram handle in the show notes so you guys can make sure you're going to the right Cramer Says, but it's Cramer, Cramer, Cramer Says, and make sure you click on that, connect with Rebecca, let her know that you heard her here on the Badass Direct Sales Mastery podcast so she knows where you're coming from. And if you have a question about this social selling aspect or the principles of social selling or what are the mistakes or what can I do next? Whatever. Reach out to Rebecca, ask her a question, say hi, and just let her know you came from the podcast. She'd love to hear from you. So Rebecca, thank you for your time and your expertise. This has been awesome. I know I've already got notes of what I'm going to start doing in 2022 because we're recording this at the end of 2021. I know what I'm going to start doing in 2022 in order to utilize some of these principles myself for my business. So thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. And like Jenny was saying earlier, please go back and listen to the first 3 episodes. If all you're doing is products and it's not working, you need to talk about your why. And I think that's a great example.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you very much. Now, one thing we didn't tell everybody about, you have your own podcast.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your podcast?
It's called She Hustles. So my podcast, it's targeted towards entrepreneurs, small business owners, people who want to learn from other thought leaders and figure out how they can be successful and grow their businesses as well. Not just focused on social media or social selling, but just business in general. So check it out on Apple or Spotify.
Awesome. I love that. I promise I'm going to go look it up and subscribe to it right away. So thank you so much for being here. And guys, go listen to her podcast. Check it out because the nice thing is if it's applicable to business, it's applicable to direct sales because direct sales, network marketing, and MLM are all business as well. So thanks again, Rebecca. I really appreciate you. And Badass Crew, you know how this goes. Stay tuned because there's another badass episode on its way.
Thanks for listening to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Why are you waiting to go to badassdirectsalesmastery.com? Don't make the dom get her whip. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with another rock star that you know in direct sales after you subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any future episodes. You can also check out the show notes for links and any contact information mentioned in today's episode. We'll see you next time.